What is up, ladies and gents? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, RAF ESPARZA, coming to you with another installment of the Bullpen, a joint venture between Inside BJJ and the Grappling Hour. I was going to say the Bullpen, but you can't say the Bullpen twice. That's not how that works. Anyways, I hope you guys are having a great day. I'm having a so-so day. We're doing a little bit earlier today because your boy's going to be heading to Dodger Stadium here in a second. I want to get Tommy Lasorda drunk tonight with a sweep. That's all I want. I don't need anything else. I see what's happening in the preview monitor. Not a fan of it, but I'm going to throw to my partner here switched hats. Now, when I tell you the Carmen Sandiego slyness in which he did it, he was just like, oh, well, if we're talking the Dodgers, then I will put on the hat of their rivals who are not involved in this. Nonetheless, Timothy J. Freeman, how are you, sir?
I'm not slick. I'm going to surprise Raph, forgetting you can see me in the preview window. I'm doing real good, man. Listen, best of luck to you. I hope you have a great experience tonight. I hope you don't end up in next week's fight of the week, but that could be entertaining. But man, I had to pull the Giants hat. Just, look, man, if you can't root for the Giants, you can root against the Dodgers. That's how we were raised. But I did want to just throw this on and this is like a special one that we got, little Halloween cat. Okay. I'm going to go back to Nashville now. I'm not going to disrespect the Dodgers, disrespect my bald head the whole time. But that was my greeting, Raph.
It's just,
good luck.
Listen, dude, it's like, how do I put this? Like sometimes James Bond has one villain. Batman has one villain in a movie. And they're like, cool, I'm taking on the Penguin. And then the Catwoman comes in out of nowhere. And you go, ma'am, not the time. One at a time, please. And every movie since has been 2 Batman villains at a time, at least. Even during the Nolan ones, he's like, I'm going to sneak in maybe 3. You're like, Bane and Catwoman, but she's kind of on his side, but she fucks him over at the beginning. Too much, Tim. I just need to concentrate on one villain per time. And the current villains are the Brewers. And maybe potentially somebody in the parking lot on the way out. Don't disrespect my wife. That's pretty much it. I think I am of the mindset where even if you disrespect me, I don't care. But I do know the last time I was at Dodger Stadium, Kelly was talking shit to some of the fans when for 2 seconds she didn't know if those were our seats. We literally went like this. Oh, I guess these aren't our seats. And we start moving out and somebody's like, hey, get out of here. Those aren't your seats. And we're like, what? They're like, yeah, sit down. And we go, what do you mean sit down? We were in front of you for 5 seconds, you moron. Shut the fuck up. And I was like, you know what, Raph, let's just keep moving. And I'm like walking and I go to say something to Kelly and I go, they were really dumb, but it's all, oh no. And then there is my wife in perfect Kelly form, giving them a piece of her mind and being like, and another thing. And I go, babe, let's go here.
No.
So, yeah, that's really the only nervousness I have about being the fight of the week. But why don't we get to the topics at hand? All right, first things first. I know a lot of you guys love talking stats, but nothing spoke out more to the rest of us than looking at the performance of UFC BJJ, which somehow managed to go from under 1 million to 9 million. And it begs the question, but how? Tim, what are your thoughts on the statistical anomaly performance from the UFC BJJ?
Man, first I'm going to lead off with, I'm not a statistician, so I'm not exactly qualified. However, I've been using the internet for a long time, and I do look at views and counts and comments, and 9 million is like, dang, dude, that's a lot. Like, who are these 9 million people? That's what I want to know. Like, who are these imbeciles that were 9 million? I don't think so. The comments did not go up very much. So basically, Mikey Musumeci proclaimed, hey, 9 million views. I can't believe it. I'm so happy that many people watched UFC BJJ 3. And, you know, Craig is over there, speaking of villains, just like chomping at the bits. He gets on Instagram, calls out some anomalies. Some people kind of jump on that bandwagon. Mikey shows up on one of the original villains, which is funny because now he's like Catwoman and he's playing nice with Dana, but Ariel was not a friend of Dana. Dana gave Ariel the boot. And so Ariel throws out this bizarre idea that maybe a competitor bought 9 million views for UFC BJJ 3 in an effort to plant fraudulent activity on their account and then call it out. Which, I mean, how much does 9 million views cost? How much you got to pay for that? That can't be cheap, right? That's got to be expensive.
As Carter does BJJ says, yeah, that's crazy. Agreed, Carter. Tim, I feel like you are fishing here for two different reactions from me, because these are two completely different things. The first is the UFC BJJ accusation, and the second is the batshit crazy Ariel Helwani theme. Which would you like me to address first? Because I don't even know where I'm going on either of these, because it's a little pent up inside.
Okay, I would like to hear your theory on how they amass so many damn views.
Okay, let's start with that. UFC BJJ going from a baseline of about 14,000 to then 9 million is difficult. Not impossible, but if you looked at that card, there were a few highlights, and as other people said, some snorers. And Mikey, I don't want to make you feel sad, but it does seem very unlikely that that was organic growth. Now, the UFC has a big machine, and it's possible that people might go, oh, did I miss the UFC BJJ last night? Well, let me just catch the full replay. Here we go. Let's watch all of it. Or, in order for YouTube to count it, at least 30 seconds. So really, if they watch 30 seconds, it begs the question, are you making ads longer than 30 seconds? It's sort of like when you keep seeing Kristi Noem, like, hey, are you an illegal person in the United States? Donald Trump, as soon as I get my mouth out of it, is doing this. It is a lot of that buying ad revenue that could possibly be in play. But more than likely, it's annoying to see that we don't have organic growth. Plus negatives. Okay. Craig is alleging the fact that they are pumping more into that, and that actually can be very bad for people who go to negotiate with the UFC, saying, all right, well, we paid for that growth, so we're not going to pay you anymore. So as a result of that, we really can't do that because we bought those. So really, you aren't a draw. Alex Wendling also went off on it, and it was really cool to see her explain that and why that is a bad thing. I think that's a good perspective for somebody, and especially her position advocating for athletes to understand why it's concerning. Craig's just trolling them because it's fun to him. But he does bring up some good points, which is, why are you doing this? Why would you not just spend that money on the athletes? Or more importantly, you're the UFC. Literally mentioning there's UFC BJJ, if you're truly going to grow it over time, if you're putting out a good product, you will get people to come along for the ride. But we live in the world where Power Slap does 1 trillion million views. So I could see the format they want to follow here. Having said that, let's get to Ariel's theory. Ariel proposed that maybe, just maybe, playing devil's advocate here, maybe somebody purchased the views on behalf of the UFC so that they could fucks with the negotiating power or the status of that company. Ariel, I have heard you say incredibly crazy things over the years, and you are the top guy in MMA for people to go and do that. We have a lot of respect for you. Having said that, with respect, sir, what the fuck are you talking about? Who has that money? Do you think that Strikeforce has that money? No, they're dead. Does Pride have that money? No, they're dead too. Who has the money to say, you know how we get the UFC? We give them more views. What? Yeah, hear me out, guys. We give them more views so that way we make it seem like something's a little fishy out there, and that way people start looking at the UFC with a little bit of a raised eyebrow and think maybe they don't attract that many peoples. You get what I'm saying? No, we don't, sir. You're the worst crime boss ever. If crime bosses had to do a P&L statement for profits and loss at the end of a quarter, they'd be like, where did this $12 million go? They're like, actually, we spent that on making the UFC look good / bad. Wink. It was maddening because it's been alluded that maybe now we're at a place where Ariel and the UFC can get along. Maybe Dana is okay with him now. There could be some mended fences. Sure. But throwing out this batshit theory actually broke my brain, because I've been in a position where you interview somebody like a Mikey and you want to be conciliatory and you want to be nice to them and say things that are like, I don't know, I mean, people feel this way. Maybe it could be this. This just sounded like Ariel's brain took a vacation and that words flowed out of his mouth, and that it might have even surprised him. So, Tim, given my reaction to this, is there anything that you think I'm missing? Because in my perspective, the ability to pay for your opponent to look suspicious is a gross overestimation of how much money every organization actually has.
I think we're just talking like, if you just do some basic bullshit bro math, internet math, and you look up how much does it cost to buy views, and you kind of look into that, you're talking about thousands and thousands of dollars to buy 8 million views. This is not like, hey, I'm gonna play a goof on Egg, or sorry, Dana White was the original Egg. Sorry, guys. Gonna play a joke on Blaff. That was his other nickname back in the day. I'm gonna buy views and then I'm gonna call him out. It's kind of absurd. I guess I could see it if there was some sinister, promotion that is at war with the UFC, but it's an odd move. It just seems like you would use your money to do something.
One FC is continuously reported as being broke. You mean to tell me that One FC says, hey, you got $50,000, which is only a fraction of the money that we dedicated to making the UFC have more views than they really had. Take that, UFC.
I'm thinking more like jiu-jitsu promotions, though. Like, what jiu-jitsu promote? Flow's, and I'm not leveling any accusations against anybody, but Flow's kind of the only company that's in a position to make a power move, and I just don't see them doing that. Flow tackle their grandma to get a nickel like that. I don't think they're. I don't think they're gonna blow money like that.
Recent thing I've run into, Tim. So I got an email notification that I forgot to update my settings for Flow. So they're like, hey, can you update payment? I was like, oh, right. I have to update this. And I legit thought for a second, I was like, should I cancel Flow? I should, right? And I legit thought about it, forgetting we do this thing here,
Yeah.
I thought, nah, maybe I could take this one off. And then I 100% forgot that next month, a month essentially from now, we have trials. And the only place to watch that is Flow. So in the most begrudging middle of the night, exhausted, like, fine, I updated it and I immediately felt terrible. I felt dirty. I was fine that the price didn't go up, so thank God. But I was so mad that for the next year I'm locked in, because I've heard people on principle say, I don't even want the yearly subscription, which would save me more than 12%, blah, blah, blah. They just said, I will pay the extra money because I hate Flow that much during the months where there's ADCC. And I was almost there. But I guess what this means is I can see all of your super fights, everybody. But I subscribe to Flow Wrestling because I feel like they're a little bit better product. So they do send me sample resumes sample surveys that say, hey, would you like to rate Flow Wrestling? And I go, maybe. Just so I can say Flow Grappling sucks. Even though you're the same company, it would be nice to be like, Flow Wrestling, you do a great job. Unlike that Flow Grappling, which should hire RAF ESPARZA to read their news, period. Anyway.
I actually am gladly giving my money to Flow now, because I'll tell you why. I feel like every year I buy my license to bitch about Flow.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, man, I voted with my dollars for you, Flow, and now I let you fucking have it.
You're right. I should have come in with an I voted sticker. It's a I renewed. You know what, Tim?
I renewed.
Honestly, that might be something that we need to explore, is getting stickers that people can wear when they renew their subscription.
Their Flow sub. Oh, he's so great. I renewed.
They can proudly wear when they have begrudgingly done it. All right. Well, listen, if that wasn't enough to rage bait me into some responses, let's go to our second topic, which surely will bring out a different side of my personality. Oh, look, somebody's contract expired. And this also was revealed on that episode with Ariel Helwani, as Mikey Musumeci said, he is now essentially, currently, maybe, possibly a free agent. Tim, your thoughts?
I mean, for sure he's going to re-up with the UFC. I don't think they're going to, if they part ways with Mikey right now, that's in essence them admitting or conceding or alluding that they made a mistake by bringing him in. I just don't see it happening. For sure he's going to come back. He's too giddy. When you watch that interview, he's too happy. He would be terrible at poker. I'm not great at poker. Mikey would be terrible because he can't really hide. It's on his face when he's talking. So he said his contract is up for renegotiation. They have a bunch of events planned next year, like 10 of them. I think for sure he'll get signed. We're going to see him a bunch more. But yeah, I think Mikey's just trying to generate a little bit of buzz on Helwani's show. He's feeling good. He's making the Craig Jones circuit now. Like, he's starting to go to the places Craig Jones has gone to drop news. So he's got to be feeling really terrific. I know Bougie Gatami, but dude, Mikey's in the news. What are we supposed to do?
So this is where the audience wants reaction for us saying these are the most prominent things that happen in the sport. You think we wouldn't want to take a week off of having to do Mikey jokes, but here we are. All right, let's talk it out. Mikey Musumeci is probably going to re-sign with the UFC. So, yes, the little giddy shoulder and like, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, is his way of not saying he's probably going to re-sign. Here's where my contentions lie. I don't think he deserves a raise. Now, it's not to say he hasn't been doing the promotional circuit. He has been the forefront person for it. It's just that the matches don't merit going up. And arguably, as we mentioned before with the numbers, it's hard to tell if he is a draw. He is definitely a draw as a personality on Instagram, but that doesn't always necessitate into views for people who want to see his matches. And when you're inflating these numbers, it's almost impossible to determine whether he is somebody who is creating matches that are worthy of giving more money to, which is probably where these negotiations are coming down to. Having said that, since we can't use that as a base, we can only really go off of the content of his matches, and those are not must-see TV. In fact, most of us watch the rest of the card, and by product, we say, well, there's a Mikey match at the end. It's frustrating because the whole reason you have a renegotiation is so that you can look at it and see if you're due for a raise. And other than fulfilling his media obligations and doing his part to spread the gospel, no, I don't think he's worth it, but I think he's going to get it. And I can applaud somebody for making more money for not really executing, but I can't hate on that. I mean, listen, dude, if I was not a talented host and they paid me more money, I'd be like, sure, okay, no problem. It's just disheartening because we're in a space where we know that money and promotion could go to another grappler who does provide better return on investment for the match. And part of how this works is if you are marketed as a person who is a franchise player, you get more of a prominent spot. Mikey's best argument is that he is finishing his opponents. But the counter argument to that is maybe these aren't the best opponents for him. So why wouldn't you rather want to reward somebody else to be the franchise star? And if you think marketing doesn't have a role in this, how are we able to bypass the fact that Mikey was marketed from 1FC as a showcase star for them, given some tomato cans, a little more widely believed, in that organization to beat up, and then also put on their shows like The Apprentice, which, by the way, I don't know how many people watch that, but Mikey was a franchise star on that as well. So they literally threw as much as they could to promote him, and it worked because the UFC said, wow, that looks great. Yoink, we'll take that. So marketing does matter when you want to make a star. And this is why we're spending the time talking about it, because the question is, are we utilizing the right funds? And are we picking the right people? And Mikey is one of the most notable people. But if this was me in a review setting for any other job, I'd be like, I'm sorry, you're not getting a raise. We're going to offer you the exact same rate. And if you're Mikey, you might say, well, I'm going to leave. And I guarantee you they would do just as well without him. Because if you're buying the followers and the viewers as is, why do you need somebody who is claiming to be a draw? The UFC BJJ is the star. And you can develop new people. And you have the Tackett's. You have these really good personalities that you can make something with. So, yeah, I think we're kind of invested on if there is bot followers and bot folks, because that can trickle down to these other grapplers who aren't in the Mikey positions.
Pretty interesting stuff. I mean, I think you hit the nail on the head. They probably will give him a raise, I would imagine, but probably not that much. I don't think. Listen, I highly doubt the UFC is going to come in after being very, very frugal with what they pay fighters for as long as they can get away with it, and they're just going to open the books for these BJJ pajama dudes. I don't think so.
You know, one more thought before we move on. It's kind of wild. Stay with me here, people. I know that buying views isn't good, in theory. But this is in the UFC playbook. Children, gather round. Old person about to tell you a story. When the UFC was struggling to go mainstream, so in those early 2000 years, they launched The Ultimate Fighter. Now, the common consensus is a network buys that program and says, we'll take this. But nobody was interested in The Ultimate Fighter. It was in that era that people thought of it as human cockfighting. So they couldn't get on networks. So you know what they did? They bought the airtime. And not just any airtime. They bought the airtime after Monday Night Raw. I believe it was on the TNN network, which later became Spike TV. So they bought that slot to get a prominent launching point. So that's why whenever they say Forrest Griffin, Stephen Bonner was so important to the company, it's like they invested big into that. I don't know how different that is to then buy the followers. So if we are truly playing devil's advocate here and trying to hear out their theory to doing it, at least they admitted that they bought that airtime. They had to reveal that. Here, it's a lot more fishy because you do have contract negotiations at the core, and you do have some of these grapplers who will likely be inflation adjusted, grappling for less than maybe some of those Ultimate Fighters were on that show.
Yeah, and inflation's real. I read a little factoid today. 50 cent adjusted for inflation would be $1.09 right now. If he was to come out and start rapping, he'd have to be $1.09. Couldn't be 50. And that's real. I read that today.
I appreciate that, Tim. And he also would have been shot 11.5 times instead.
Yeah, that's right. Everything goes up, baby.
Everything goes up, guys. All right, let's move on the board right now to go to our next discussion, which is a happier one. There are some congratulations in order. It does look like the Lady Goat herself, Bia, was able to get an impressive MMA debut. Tim, how did that go for her?
It went fantastic. She did outstanding. I think anytime a jiu-jitsu star, and you could easily say Bia is a gigantic star in the jiu-jitsu world, goes into MMA, there's some concern, especially when they get that first fight in the UFC, that they're going to get that jiu-jitsu in the headlights thing going on and eat a bunch of punches and have a rough night, because sometimes that does happen. Did not happen for her. She fought the Russian Irina Alekseeva, who had a good striking background, not super good with the grappling, though, and I think that really played into Bia's favor. The first round, she got a 10-8 round. She landed great ground and pound. Obviously, her grappling was good, passed guard with ease, took mount with ease, but her ground and pound looked fantastic. She used her elbows really well. Came out in the second round, more of the same, took her back, sunk in the choke. It was a very dominant victory. That the division she's in is what is her division? It's not very thick, though. There's not a lot of competition in that particular division. But you know, the thing I took umbrage with is MMA Mania had an article written. I'm gonna give him credit. Alexander Behunin, and he referred to Bia Mosqueda as the self-proclaimed Lady Goat.
What?
And she's not the self-proclaimed, okay? She is the Lady Goat. You could ask anybody, who's the Lady Goat? Everyone's going to say Bia. So get that right, dude. Bia is the Lady Goat. It's not self-proclaimed. It is. I proclaim it right now. The streets have proclaimed that Bia is the Lady Goat.
Also, we live in an era where Gordon called himself Gordon King Ryan before he was the king. And he's the one that appointed himself that.
Yeah, he did.
And our thought is a person who, for a large period of time, was considered a Lady Goat in the jiu-jitsu world, had to go somewhere else because she was like, well, I keep kind of crushing it here, so maybe I should find a new challenge. You think that person is, I don't know, maybe she's not the Lady Goat. Who are you advocating for? Like, what is the purpose of this? Can I tell you one of my favorite things here? You
Yes,
know,
please.
let me use some pop culture for you kids to try to understand something. Recently, Taylor Swift broke some records, and it is kind of annoying. I don't really like her or care for her, but I think it is impressive that she gets her base to stupidly buy 30 copies of her stuff. But it goes to show, like, she has a connection with these people. There is something to respect about that, even if I'm not the one streaming or liking those albums. And people were in the comment section being like, Adele did it just with pure sales, and she didn't have to sell 49 covers. And you know what Adele was caught doing most recently? Adele was at a Dua Lipa concert, I think the same one I was at, and she's in the crowd just singing along, looking unbothered. And I go, you know, that's what happened when people are very successful. They're like, I don't give a shit. If she broke, oh, she break a record? Good for her. I'm going to just sing and have fun at a concert. And it's like, I say this as somebody who also was in the comment section being like, yo, Adele, I can't have you being happy right now. I need you sad. Let's get you sad so we can beat those Taylor Swift numbers. Like, I feel the same way about her breaking the records. But I will tell you this. The Lady Goat is probably unbothered by this. But the rest of us, I think we can all agree in most part, if not the Lady Goat, in the conversation at the very least for one of those. We don't need to add the self-proclaimed Lady Goat. I think the accolades do that enough.
Proclaimed. Yeah. I just felt like that was an unnecessary sentence enhancement. It did not need self-proclaimed in the title.
Well, this is also a fun one. While not doing Gee, Gordon. Well, twist you up.
Uh-oh.
The only thing that is invited in this is, I would agree. I would love for somebody to be like a Hodger who's had accomplishments in both. I think that's cool. I think the only thing to remember here is Gordon has been leading a campaign to make people believe the Gee is not important. And there are a lot of followers who believe that. It's just, I feel like right now it's all a matter of how do you define your greatness if you don't have people saying it for you. And Gordon, part of his appeal over the years, when he didn't have that clout yet, was to be his own best advocate. And it paid forward for him and it worked. But yeah, I just never saw Michael Jordan in the chat being like, so what's up? Am I the GOAT? Just was like, oh, okay. You guys think I'm the greatest? Okay, cool. Well, you're going to debate me with every new star that comes up. So that's going to be real fun. Let's move forward now, though, Tim. Our next match marker here is going to be this. All right, I don't know as much about this one, but it does look like there was a little bit of a level up here, Tim. So when we talk about leveling up, we talk about the fact that somebody was able to jump, almost get like a fast pass from blue belt to black belt. And it was, granted, after 12 years, but it felt like maybe they missed some other stuff. So, Tim, what exactly happened here in this story?
So this is classic BJJ lifestyle culture. This is one of those nuances in the jiu-jitsu culture that it does come up. It used to be a much bigger deal. Stolen valor in jiu-jitsu. Oh, man. Back in the day, the message boards, one of the functions, besides talking smack and acting like you knew everything, one of the key functions of the message board was to find and root out fake black belts in the jiu-jitsu world. And dojo storming or paying a visit, it still happens today. You still see videos where this comes up all the time, but it was very common. And a lot of that stuff was arranged on message boards. So fast forward 2025, and apparently there was a promotion happened down in Brazil. The names are like being withheld, I guess, to protect the potentially innocent parties here. But a black belt promoted a blue belt student to black belt. And he said, and this is translated, not just for your loyalty, but for the 12 years you've already spent as a blue belt, because of the black belt vision you have starting today, you begin to become a black belt. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, if you just have to have a vision for it, then a lot of people could be black belts now. This is a lot like Gordon Ryan going from the Burger King to the self-proclaimed jiu-jitsu king, just kind of like in one hop. It's like a shoots and ladders level up. Instead of falling down, you slide up. You go through a Mario tunnel as a blue belt, and you come out at the end as a master. The jiu-jitsu community went bonkers on it. Reddit went bonkers. Cormier weighed in. And then the actual associations that were kind of affiliated with this dude came out, and they're like, we don't even know this guy, blah, 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 blah. So they're kind of distancing themselves from it. Look, I guess you could have somebody who's really, really talented and really is a black belt. They just haven't been promoted. But because we have a belt system, oh shit, it does. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. It seems weird. my freaking mic holder didn't like that. It seems weird to jump 3 freaking belts, man, or at least 2, right? You're jumping the most important belts, purple and brown. You're going straight to black. So I don't know. We don't like shortcuts in BJJ.
Tim, is this person dying soon? Because, like, I do ask that sometimes.
I didn't think about that. I don't like posthumous, however you say that word, promotions either.
What are you talking about, Tim? I am counting on that for my black belt. Like, I just need to get to brown so that they do the dramatic. They're about to drop me into the earth. They throw in the black belt. It's going to fucking count. So don't you shit on this right now.
Hang on. Hold on. At funerals, there should be, just like they do at weddings and nobody does it, they should say, look, before we put Raf in the ground, does anybody have anything to say? Or hold your peace. Like, don't talk shit. Once we put him in the ground, he dead. Like, let's not talk. And if they put a black belt on you, that step up and go, guys, he wasn't a black belt. He was a brown belt. This is an unlawful promotion.
Tim, I don't think I'm going to get a black belt based off my talent or other people's interpretation of talent. I think what it's going to come down to is I think they're going to forget to promote me. And then I think when it really comes down to it, they're going to go, oh, shit. Let's
just stripe them out.
Yeah. You know what, guys?
Just throws it on.
Single tear comes down. They throw it out. They have to look up. They can't even make eye contact with me anymore. I'm just passed out like this. And the only thing you're going to see from me, even though I'm dead, is just a slight smirk of, that's it.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, let me put it to you this way, Tim. I agree with Egg, which is, heck, I'll write a vision statement, a mission statement, a business plan, a curriculum vitae, etc. if writing gets you promoted. Sure, I would agree with that. I think that's important to note. All right, Tim, let's move this down. This is some CRAIGMAX stuff that has come up as well. So Craig has actually been, busy. He said he's going to drop off the face of the earth for all of the rest of us. He still puts up some posts here and there. Almost gets murdered, but just kidding wise. But he's keeping up a lot with what kind of cars Gordon buys. Specifically, ones that then he can purchase after Gordon allegedly drops the retail value price of it. Tim, what exactly are the details we need to know about this story?
So apparently, Gordon Ryan had this big dope pickup truck that he was really proud of, and he had it wrapped up, and he had the Moneyberg seal on it, which, look, Derek, my car's available. I got space on the car. If you want to give me a little cash, I'll put that logo on my car. Let's just talk if that's the business you're in. But so Gordon had this truck, and apparently he gets rid of the truck, and Craig had like it's a weird, I don't know if it's a fetish now, But he really likes Gordon's sloppy car seconds. So he snapped that car up, the truck, and took a picture with it. It's not wrapped anymore. And I just thought, man, like Craig just, I think Craig, it's not that he's so creative, it's that he knows the little things, I think, that get under these guys' skins, and he just does that. It's like something like that would really annoy me if I had a foe who then would get my used cars after I had them. That would piss me off and then mock me about it online, give it away. So it's a very well played move. And I had the most fun making this graphic. I love Cal Worthington, and I put him in this for you because I know you're a Southern California guy. I know you know who I'm talking about. And I was pretty pleased about CRAIGMAX as well, to be quite honest with you. This is maybe I probably spent most of my time looking at this and laughing this morning.
You mean go see Cal, go see Cal, go see Cal. Of course. A staple out here. And I argue, as a kid, I heard it as Pussy Cow. I didn't hear go see Cow. I heard 100% Pussy Cow. And I thought, I don't care if that makes sense or not. It makes sense to me, and that's the way I'm going to listen to it. So it says Craig was probably just making a callback joke. It works. It's also a very expensive callback joke. Like,
yeah.
I do a lot of jokes at people's expense, but you know, we try to keep the budget for jokes very low. Craig is so committed to it that he's like, you know what? I guess I got to buy his car now. Like, it just seems like an extra step that you don't need to take, but I'm actually kind of in awe that he sticks to that bit so well.
Yeah, how long does this go?
Well,
at what point does Gordon reverse troll Craig and get a car that's like, oh, you're going to buy my used car? Wait till I run a soup kitchen in this thing, man. Then I'll turn it over to you. Like, right? That could happen.
I don't know that Gordon has the capacity. It's not to say he's dumb. His posts do that enough. It's that I think he's good at jiu-jitsu chess, where he might plan 12 steps ahead of you. But if you're talking about joke chess, Craig might as well be running up games on 14 people in the streets. I feel like it is asking someone to bat outside their average. Like, it's taking somebody from the Little League World Series and saying, like, guess what, kid? You're pitching at the World Series this October. Like, good luck, young man. Yeah, I don't see himself committing to the bit. Or I see Gordon proclaiming himself a winner of something, and then Craig already having, like, the next bit planned out, where he's already entrapped him and being like, well, now you're arrested from the U.S. government. Ha, take that, Gordon. So I don't know. What I can tell you is this. I saw he bought another car, and I thought, there's no Craig Jones Invitational to auction this car off. So I don't know what you're trying to do for it, but it might indicate how some of the funds were spent at the Craig Jones Invitational. I'm just saying. Anyways, let's move on to the next topic here at hand, because this one confused me, Tim. You put a BARRAFIT on the rundown. I don't know what this means, but can you please describe what this is? Because now that I'm saying it out loud, I think I actually do know what you're talking about, but I would love to hear what exactly this one is all about.
So I want to make sure I get my facts straight here. But more or less, Gracie Baja recently put out a press release that is Gracie Baja's. It's going to be a fitness program that focuses on wellness and fitness, recovery, I guess maybe tournament shape, like getting fit for tournaments and stuff like that. They're going to send a group of instructors, or yeah, I don't know. You guess you just call everyone's an instructor in the organization, um, to become like ambassadors or leaders in this program. It sounds like it's online and it's individualized somehow. The article also did mention, I think it's Marcos Fertosa. I believe it was him who was talking about it. Said, it's a great opportunity for us to have like a value add. It's an upsell, it's an opt-in, but hey, this is a really great thing. All of our students are now going to have the potential to have access to tailored fitness programs and workouts and stuff. So, yeah, I just thought it was funny because a week ago we were having this, do you need strength and conditioning to do jujitsu? And everyone's like, nah, you don't need it. Or yeah, you do. No, you don't. He does. He doesn't. And then, the largest jujitsu franchise in the world comes out and says, oh, we have individualized plans for all of our students for $29.99. No, I don't know how much it's going to cost, but I don't know if it's going to be a hit. I don't know if people actually want this. To be quite honest with you, I think some people like to be spoon-fed, but most people like to kind of do their own thing outside of an app. So we'll see. And I'd be interested in hearing your thoughts because I know you work with somebody on your strength and conditioning, and that sounds like that works for you. I don't know if it's that personalized, though.
Sorry, just give me a second here. Trying to register Bullpen Fit. See if it is. Hold on.
Individualized workout.
It is available and actually very affordable. So Bullpen Fit coming to you live all next year. Hey, you might be asking yourself, what do I get with Bullpen Fit? The answer, what don't you get? You need to subscribe now because we're going to get you pumped this holiday special occasion, Easter, Valentine's season, insert cut from whatever of those it is, so that you can be ready to hit your goals. You want to do jiu-jitsu? Yeah. But you want to do it better? Yeah. Then that's why you need Bullpen Fit. Bullpen Fit consists of the following. Insert cut of activity. But this plan is specialized for you. Insert name. And if you're looking to go to the next level and win that next Naga title, UFC BJJ belt, Flow Grappling, who's number one, then you need to act right now. Because look, no better results than this guy and mostly this guy. Tim, do a thumbs up. All right, I think I just made us money for next.
Not bad. I like it.
What are my thoughts? Well, I do work strength and conditioning with somebody, and this is a very actually credentialed and qualified person. He tailors it to my game, so he recognizes, like, he works with Cam Hurd. Let's put it out there. And I'm not on the same plan that Cam Hurd and Ernesto Rivera are on. We'll be very clear. But sometimes I see them doing things that I'm doing as well. I just know that he has given me ones that are for my goals. And my goals are to be on the mats forever. So it's a lot of maintenance, making sure that I do different body parts. Like, if it was up to me, it'd all just be fucking abs. I'd be like, listen, I don't care if I've got chicken legs. Just make sure when I'm off with the shirt that I look okay. And even then, I'm like, oh, but we have to run? Yeah, I'm not doing that. We have to do an exercise bike? Still less chance of that. Or you want me to do battle ropes? Who am I, Brock Lesnar? No.
Battle ropes.
So there's a lot of stuff that my man Asim really does a good job of helping me out with. I think it is unfortunately necessary for a lot of grapplers as hobbyists so that they can make sure they are good. You don't have to go crazy on this stuff. I don't. I do it within reason. But if you're a competitor, it is almost certain in this world, just to make sure that you're prehabbing injuries, that it is one and the same. And I feel like you really have to be dedicated to your craft and do that if you're looking to compete. And if you're looking to not do that sort of stuff, maybe you're just trying to win from technique, God bless, but it is going to be a very difficult thing to do, especially as you start accusing people of being on steroids continuously. So there are pluses and minuses to this this whole thing. But I will tell you this. I don't like doing it. I always hate doing it. But I have noticed some slight improvements, and I can't deny that. And I credit all those to Chef Asim. Asim is the man behind the plan. But it was kind of interesting because I put up a good photo of me, like selling some tank tops. And I don't know if I've ever gotten this accusation, but everybody was like, damn, Raf's on the sauce. And I go, I assure you I am not. If I am on sauce, it is the worst sauce anybody's ever gotten. But
come on, man. I know you're on those Mexican supplements, dude.
Honestly, the only way I would get away with it is I wouldn't go to Mexican supplements because everybody would expect that. That's why you go to Canadian supplements. I'm going to go for the North American Mexicans. I'm going to go for the Mexicans up above. And I'm going to say, give me your Wolverine Weapon X steroids, please.
Yeah.
But
the Canadians are, go ahead. Sorry. I didn't mean
Canadians are tough. It just might mean that I'm putting your jersey a lot more over your head and punching you a lot more. It's a little different, but I would say this. I think the real intention is you won't know what this program does until 6 months in. So you kind of have to see it in action. I can't even shit on it yet. I have to see what the plan is for those people and how they stick with it for 6 months. Because just like a jiu-jitsu program, I tell our guys, I'm like, dude, you won't know how to do shit. When somebody's mentioning and they just start, they're like, when do I start tapping people? I was like, well, when new people come.
Yeah, right.
That's how it works.
Exactly.
It's a pyramid scheme. We've brought you into this. The minute you bring somebody else in, that's the person you're probably tapping. But until then, it's going to be a little humbling. I feel the same thing about strength and conditioning gains. So what is Canadian supplement? Maybe maple syrup. That's pretty good. I like that. And thank you for the props here, Jiu-Jitsu Mag. I would tell you this. I'm happy to see people go out there and achieve their gains and do their things. It just wasn't on my bingo card, but it is the unfortunate dance you have to do as you get older because everything starts to hurt.
There is a hell of a business opportunity in here in this. If I'm Gracie Baja, and this is what I'm looking out for in the future, I'm tying a portion of my promotion criteria to your participation in BARRAFIT. Now, talk about shortcuts. You could just do burpees to get to your next belt. You know, you could do stretching, power bands, therapy, wellness work, meditation. It all counts, brother. I like it. I like where this is going.
Yeah, there's something about getting a blue belt from doing burpees that kind of brought something out of me I wasn't expecting. But hey, listen, if we can promote blue belt to black belt very quickly, why not? Sure.
That's how you get your blue belt in jail, by doing burpees. Like if you can really bang out burpees, you get a jail blue belt. That's like your first break-in belt, you know?
There is something pretty great about that. You know what? I think what's going to happen is the reverse, Tim. I think CrossFit is going to take more from us and they're going to start handing out belts because they don't have enough ways to take people's money. They're going to be like, well, now you got to test for your blue belt in lifting. Asim, wherever you are. I know you're usually doing stuff. Sometimes you're listening to this. Asim, hear me now. Listen to me later. Belts for your lifters. You are a self-appointed red belt at lifting at your gym. Collaboration, let's split the money even down. All right, we'll talk a little bit later off air, Asim.
That's the move. And because it's early in this new belt system for lifting, I I feel like I have been, not my idea, but planted some seeds. I think I can get like a red and black, and nobody will know the difference. I'll be the instructor with a hurt back who doesn't lift anymore. And I'll just tell all these stories about my magnificent lifts in some other country where I lived.
Would you go somewhere else? Yeah. No, see, you thought of it that way. I thought of it like this. If we're doing belts for everything, I might be waiting in my coffin for the black belt to come on top of me, but I will be wearing my podcast red belt because myself and Tim, this is why we say we have the most experience. No other podcast duo in jiu-jitsu has more combined years. None as hosts.
Not even uncombined. Nobody from 2012
I know.
is still podcasting about jiu-jitsu.
Well, I say that, but then you get somebody who's going to be like, well, actually, Joe Rogan was doing podcasting, and I got to do because when Joe Rogan...
Yeah, but
he's
different.
Not. Like, Joe Rogan...
He's not doing what we're doing.
He's really not even training anymore, let's be honest. But actively in the sport, who's still been in there, it's us. So what I'm saying is, I'm going to anoint myself a red belt, and then I'm going to do a course for those who want to get belt systems in podcasts.
Yes.
And that way I can go up to like Nicky Rod and be like, my son, you have done enough for your first stripe on your blue belt. You have made it to 100 episodes.
Yes.
My son, here you go.
That'll be the bit, and then it'll be the big conspiracy. Like, should you be promoted to your blue belt in podcasting just because you got 100 episodes in?
Yes, absolutely. You know what? Yes, because I am on record, I think with Joseph Chen saying when he was talking about the guys starting up the Simple Man podcast, I go, they can call me when they've done 20 episodes. And it's a check for commitment because doing 10 episodes, not that hard.
Yeah.
It's once you get to 20 that I start to take you as a real adult in podcasting, because a lot of times you get two talented people who are good at jiu-jitsu who go, let's start a podcast. It's going to be me and my bros just sitting around talking about jiu-jitsu. And yeah, man, it's going to be different because like we're funny, man. And we tell jokes and it's like, good concept. Can't wait.
Nobody's doing that. Yeah.
Nope, I think you're right. Whatever happened to Gumby?
I think about Gumby from On the Mat.
Yeah.
Gumby Academy up in San Jose called Heroes Martial Arts. He's a good dude, man. I mean, Gumby's an OG also. And they were real active for a long time, but I don't think he's really doing a lot. And actually before that, if you want to talk about the OGs, it was Caleb from Fightworks podcast. He had like
Caleb was the first
200 episodes and like when in 08 or something, you know, it was called internet radio then, but
what was like,
but he got out. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're right. I was about to say that he got out. Go ahead.
It Metamoris won. I talked to him there and he's like, he just hurt his knee again. And he's like, there's no money in this. I'm getting out. I'm done with all this. And I was like, I'm just getting in. What are you talking about, dog?
You know what the saddest part is? It's now, 13 years later, and there's still no money. So he was right. Having said that,
I know. Yeah.
We will prove him wrong. But you know what? When I'm in my coffin, that's what it's going to be. I'm going to be like, gosh, we showed you. We made $2,000 off of ad sales. Okay. Anyway, let's do this. It says, or the Sherdog Radio Network. I mean, TJ has a claim. TJ's in there too. He was more MMA, I would argue, but TJ's in that discussion. Paul Moran, our friend, was in that discussion. There's a lot of people that we could say are in the world. The question is, are they still doing it actively and focused on the world of jiu-jitsu? The answer is no. So we're going to hold that claim very well for a long period of time. Tim, we're now going to transition to this week's low light highlight of the week. So what can you tell us about this week's fight of the week, sir?
Tell you that this fight happened in my part of the country, and I don't know how I missed it because I'm going to some dark places to find these fights now. All the surface ones, we've gone through all those. Everybody has seen those. But But this one I had to dig, and I found it, and it's good. And I think we could label this the muffin tops versus the jelly bellies. And these are dude muffin tops, by the way. This is a battle for khaki short supremacy. This is insane. I think it was like one of these matches where both tag team partners are in the ring at the same time fighting, because I didn't realize it was a tag team match until about halfway through the fight. And then I realized, oh, this is a tag. It had a little bit of a lumberjack match quality to it. But fighting crowds impressed me so much because they can just move with the action. And in a weird way, they protect the guys in the middle by just forming a human wall of flesh around them. But I can't wait to hear your take on this, because this is wild and unpredictable.
Well, let's look at it right now. Tim, walk us through this.
Okay, so they're just getting set up. A couple up front, they're looking for their car. They can't find it. This guy comes up behind them. He's like, I know where your car is, and I want your shorts. Take that. And he takes a swing at him, and he misses 3 times, swings with the beer can. Then redhead dude comes in, and watch this super spike onto the ground. Oh. He flips him, and he tries to darce him. Look at this. He's setting up a darce. They pull him off. He throws a kick, and now he's swinging. And Carrot Top is like, he came to brawl. Like, you don't like my prop jokes? He gets mounted by khaki short guy number 2. He's laying some ground and pound. Then I like the shirt stretch technique, but he has no base. He falls, can't get up. More khaki guys come in. What? These guys are in love. We got some guard work, and now Joe Carrot Top just takes a little shove on the way out, Lord. And he is pissed. Look at the look on his face. He's out of it. He's upset. He got in a fight again, and right here, camera zooms in on a tooth.
Oh,
so somebody lost a nugget in that match. And listen, most of the time when you see guys in khaki shorts and polos, they're not fighting unless they're on the golf course. This one actually took place in a parking lot, and if it was in Tennessee, which it was, I'm sure there was a dollar store and a Waffle House on adjoining corners, and they could have easily taken it over to either one of those places and had a proper scrap, but they chose to get it on in the Kroger's parking lot.
Well, allow me.
Please.
Let's start here. First of all, you can tell that there's something amiss at the Jimmy Buffett concert when people are walking out. And right here, you're seeing some of the Kyles kind of getting into a little bit of a scuffle. Now, this is what I love, is when you're wearing a flannel, it says that you're a little chill, but this is not chill behavior. But it's the first swing that goes amiss that it seems like badness is happening. But I want to point out here that the husband from the Sister Wives show makes his way out to try and get things under control, going for this guillotine grip. He's almost about to go for a ride, but then Spike DDTs him. Now, this is where things are truly amazing. This is where I feel like Scotty Nelson is getting darsed, and I didn't know that OTM was this hard pressed up. But Scotty Nelson in a darce arguably got DDT'd, not looking great. But it's the work over on the top left side, where you're seeing the dude sitting down, trying to get like a triangle, having no control, but then trying to punch and slaps the dude on his head.
Is that John Daly? That looked like the golfer John Daly.
It's 100% John Daly. You said you went John Daly. My thought process was, as I saw it, it looked like Newt Gingrich's youngest son over here. So let's get back to the idea. The Sister Wives patriarch going to town, and now they're really getting into it, but he gives up mount. That's what you don't do. You don't pull guard in a street fight. Now, this is the most inspired of all of the fight. The gentleman who's gripping on the back of the polo. This, Tim, I have to come back on screen for this. This, to me, is like the most CrossFit moment I have ever seen in a fight, because it's like when someone has you doing your wrestling shots but has like a elastic band on you to work that out. Like that is what this gentleman here was doing. Is he's not just helping the fight and like controlling it as much as he can. He's actually making sure you're getting a better workout by holding you in place and saying like, all right, let's get another rep, and 3 and 4. And meanwhile, dude is losing that shirt. That shirt is gone to the heavens. Now he's playing from inside of guard. And these two gentlemen, I mean, not bad guard work, if we're being honest. He had almost a sleeve grip on a sleeveless shirt. And this is where Sister Wives is realizing the mane. His hair is now a ray. And I think that's when you get the true cinematic moment of this whole video fight, which is them zeroing in on the tooth, as if to end with that single tear down a clown's face. It is the best storytelling there is, and my hat's off to both the cinematographer and the editor of it. Tim, I'm glad that wasn't lost to the ages, but since we are in a little bit of a rush, let's have you tell the people where they can find you, sir.
Yes, sir. You can find me at Inside BJJ on your favorite social media platforms. You can find me here on the Bullpen all the time, every week. If you're out in Nashville, come see me at 10th Planet Nashville. I'll be out in Stockton in November. Come see me out there, 10th Planet Stockton. Raf, I hope you have a great time at the game today. I was going to put my Giants hat back on, but I can't find it.
Tim's been cut off. All right, there we go. Tim, great
safe.
Work from you. I will try to be safe. I'm not going to get into any fights.
Remember everything you learned from these fight videos, all the techniques, they're really all honest, at your disposal.
If Kelly gets into a fight, I'm not breaking it up. I'm just filming it. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think she got home now, so she probably heard that. All right, let me say goodbye to everybody here. Thank you so much for watching this week's installment of The Bullpen. We appreciate you guys. I do have to jet, so quick reminders, RAFESPARZA.com/merch. Get you some Grappling Hour merch. You can also go to patreon.com/Grappling Hour. Check out our show, $5 a month. And for extra bonus content, a few extra dollars. You can also like, comment, and subscribe on this video wherever you're watching. You can check me out at the Grappling Hour, Tim out at Inside BJJ. You can come train with me at Milton Arguello's Mixed Martial Arts Academy. And if you like the conversations we have here, you can go check us out on our Discord at Grappling Hour. All right, friends, that's going to do it for me. I got to go to a Dodger game. Let's sweep this bitch. Love you guys. It's been a great day for grappling. We'll see you back on the mats.